ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधेतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओं नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम सुकृते धिकृते बहुधा भवतो भविता समदर्शनलालसदा अतिदीनमिमं परिपालय मां भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो नमः। ऋषिभ्यो नमः। मुनिभ्यो नमः। गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। अथर्वऋषये नमः। मण्डूकऋषये नमः। गौडपादऋषये नमः। आद्यशङ्करऋषये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अथ अथर्ववेदान्तर्गत माण्डूक्योपनिषद पारायणम्। ओम ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम ओमित्येतदक्षरमिदगं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं भूतं भवद्भविष्यत् इति सर्वमोङ्कार एव। यच्चान्यत्रिकालातीतं तदप्योङ्कार एव। सर्वं हि एतद् ब्रह्म अयमात्मा ब्रह्म सोऽयमात्मा चतुष्पाद जागरितस्थानः बहिष्प्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुग् वैश्वानरः प्रथमः पादः स्वप्नस्थानः अन्तःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः प्रविविक्तभुक् तैजसः द्वितीयः पादः। यत्र सुप्तो न कंचन कामं कामयते न कंचन स्वप्नं पश्यति तत् सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तस्थानः एकीभूतः प्रज्ञानघन एव आनन्दमयो हि आनन्दभुक् चेतोमुखः प्राज्ञः तृतीयः पादः। एष सर्वेश्वरः एष सर्वज्ञः एषोऽन्तर्यामी एष योनिः सर्वस्य प्रभवाप्ययौ हि भूतानां न अन्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयत प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः सोऽयमात्मा अध्यक्षरम् ओङ्कारः अधिमात्रं पादामात्राः मात्राश्च पादाः अकार उकारो मकार इति जागरितस्थानः वैश्वानरः अकारः प्रथमा मात्रा आप्तेः आदिमत्वाद्वा आप्नोति ह वै सर्वान् कामान् आदिश्च भवते य एवं वेद स्वप्नस्थानः तैजसः उकारः द्वितीया मात्रा उत्कर्षाद् उभयत्वाद्वा उत्कर्षति ह वै ज्ञानसन्ततिं समानश्च भवति न अस्य अब्रह्मवित् कुले भवति य एवं वेद सुषुप्तस्थानः प्राज्ञः मकारः तृतीया मात्रा मितेः अपितेः वा विनोति हवा इदगं सर्वम् अपेतिश्च भवते य एवं वेद अमात्रः चतुर्थः अव्यवहार्यः प्रपञ्चोपशमः शिवः अद्वैतः एवम् ओङ्कारः आत्मा एव संविशति आत्मना आत्मानं य एवं वेद य एवं वेद ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम अथ अलाथ शान्त्याख्यं चतुर्थप्रकरणम्। ओम वैशारद्यन्तु वैनास्ते भेदे विचरतां सदा भेदनिम्नाः पृथग्वादाः तस्मात् ते कृपणाः स्मृताः अजे साम्ये तु ये केचित् भविष्यन्ति सुनिश्चिताः ते हि लोके महाज्ञानाः तच्च लोको न गाहते अजेष्वजम् असङ्क्रान्तं धर्मेषु ज्ञानमिष्यते यतो न क्रमते ज्ञानम् असङ्गं तेन कीर्तितम् अणुमात्रेऽपि वैधर्म्ये जायमाने अविपश्चितः असङ्गता सदा नास्ते किमुत आवरणच्युतिः। Salutation to entire Rishi Muni Guru Devata Parampara and also to our Shruti Mata, our Ishta Devata. We are into the study of Vedanta Upanishads. In the Upanishad, the truth which is explained, called as the Atma or Brahma or Paramatma, is so subtle, so sublime, though it is all pervading, though that alone is there. We have to experience the truth, the self as ourselves. And that experience of the self comes to us only when we become extremely poised in our inner stratum, inner personality. That extreme poise is called as the meditation or the dhyana. Therefore, these two should always be our continuous, constant pursuits. One is preparing for meditation and keeping on sitting for meditation. Second is doing that sadhana, this sadhana, to experience the truth or the self, which is explained in our Upanishads. And Upanishads say when you reach to that experience, there is no bondage, there is no coming up back. Yat gatva na nivartante taddhama paramamama, or it is said all Hridaya Granthi Bhedanam happens, also the Samshaya Chedanam happens, also the Sarva Karma Kshayam also happens. So, therefore, that's a very beautiful, very promising, very tempting, very encouraging state of revelation is the Brahmanubhuti or Atmanubhuti, which is experienced on seat of meditation. Therefore, we should aim to experience it. We should always do all the needful to reach to the state and qualification of meditation and actually start doing meditation to know the self. How this meditational poise is gained? Two sadhanas, one the internal, second the external. Both of them are same. What is that? Let the entire external world of whatever things and beings and situations and conditioning that are happening, may they not that disturb our inner mind, which we are preparing for meditation. So too, all the thoughts that gurgle in our antakarana of thousands of types and varieties also are reduced to minimum, thus maintaining that inner quietness and peace and poise which is so essential for meditation, which alone reveals the truth to us. How do we reduce the impact and influence of the outer world in our inner personalities? Only two things. One is the doing, second is the understanding. The doing aspect is what? Whatever the minimum which we have to do in this world for our own sustenance and for our own contribution, that alone we must do, called as dharma. Then what is the understanding of aspect of external sadhana is, mind you very carefully, other than survival, other than doing duty, Be attentive. Any other involvement in the outer world for any reason is uncalled for, is not required, it is not necessary. Not only not necessary because it disturbs our mind in its sadhana, but outside also it is not needed. Neither it is going to fetch anything extra to us, nor it is going to make the world happy. Like when you have a servant, you give him a work. What you expect out of him? Only do that much work. If that is not done also, you are angry with him. Anything extra also he does, you are annoyed. मैंने थोड़ी कहा तुमको ये कहने करने को. We scold him. In the same way, please remember, other than our dharma of serving world in wherever we are placed, other than doing those things for our own survival and sustenance, every other involvement in the world, whether it is the kamana purti, whether it is earning the wealth, whether it is starting many new projects, whether it is having so many contacts, whether it is involvement so many, all of them are worldly wise also not so much important because they confuse the life. Because of so many distractions, we can't perform our duty, we can't take care of ourselves. Therefore, it's only troublesome. And also, that is the thing because of which we are disturbed so much in our personality. This is what the external sadhana. Internally, also, always through the help of the Veda Upanishad mantras or with already gained knowledge, always the thoughts of the Paramatma alone should be there in us. The thought of Paramatma is about the absolute truth with the help of the Upanishadic mantras. If to that level we can't reach, at least the Saguna Sakara Bhagavat Sambandita Vritti alone should be always. That is, the Lord, His Leelas, the Lord, His beautiful names, Lord, it is divine form, Lord, it is Guna. Let the mind be always reveling only in these ideas, along with, let us say, some devotion, along with, let us say, some offering, along with, let us say, some gratitude, along with, let us say, some of the prayers. Let the mind be only in those moods. With this, what's happening? Because of the continuous contemplation on the mantras of Upanishad, which are telling about the nature of reality, our knowledge regarding the Parama Atma Vastu is becoming more and more firm and stronger, which is very essential for the deeper meditations. And also, when one is not able to do that, the other aspects of invoking Bhagavat Krupa through his Rupa Nama Gunadi Dhyana, he'll be empowering us with so much of faith because there's somebody, the higher power, who is going to take care of me, bless me, especially in this Adhyatmic sadhana. More importantly, the otherwise uncontrollable mind becomes purified and controlled because it is soaking in the devotion and faith toward that chosen Lord. These are the only two things that are expected to be done by us as spiritual sadhana. Just like in the external world, so too in the internal world also. Other than these two, any projects, any plans, any imaginations, any worries, any anxieties, any concerns about anybody or the future or the past, or any type of emotions of raga or dvesha or kama or krodha, all of them are nothing but draining our sapidity, nothing but disturbing our mind, nothing but distracting us from our own goal, nothing but weakening us, nothing but making us impotent, non powerful, not powerful enough for higher abodes. So, this firm understanding I must have. And thus, with this understanding, all those things which are coming, there and then observe them and send off. By not giving them अब क्या हो रहा है like in our house बोलने के वास्ते घर अपना है anybody is coming and anybody is sitting and anybody occupying anybody is going to kitchen and eating anybody is sitting in the hall and using the remote and watching TV as per his choice then what sort of owner of the house you are How you should be, nobody dare enter without even permission or appointment. After coming also, he must only do what we command him, is it not? In the same way, our mind is our house. We should be the malik of our house, and we should always have the power as well as wisdom to know whom to allow and how to stop when that thing or being or situation is not allowed. If that much achievement is not gained, any emotion, any thought, any time will enter. Enter means enter through perception of senses or enter from the inner habitual errors also, and we get carried away. Then how can and when can, in how many thousands of lives also we can, but how can we get our meditational points? Can we be successful in our seat of dhyana? Forget about dhyana of going into the sukshma anubhava. Even the sadhanas of simple japa or the puja or any of Bhagavan Nama, that also we can't do it to our own satisfaction. Forget about to the satisfaction of Paramatma or the Devata. These are the basic things from where alone, when we take care, the Adhyatmic sadhana begins. The sadhaka's lakshan is like any worldly goal also. When you keep a goal, you must know ki whatever is to be done to reach to that goal, I must be clear and I must do that. Other than that is waste of time, waste of energy. It is not for me. Everything I can't do, though there are million things to be done. Among them, I have chosen this goal. With the limited resources, when I have chosen this goal, I have to use all the resources for this only. How can I allow distractions? How can I allow weaknesses? How can I allow the losing of all my energies and attentions by attending to unwanted things? This common sense is so much required even in the outer worldly goals, and much, much more required if we are spiritual. Now, the important thought is what? In our external activities as well as our internal mind thoughts, more than 90% are unwanted only. 90% of our thoughts, emotions, inside, all confusions, all whatever you say, the imagination, projection are of no requirement at all. So to our external activities, involvements, creating newer and newer, relativities and all, जरूरत नहीं है, especially to the sadhaka. In this way, by being able to be intelligent in the world as to avoid the unwanted outer. So too in the mind also becoming so acutely conscious and alert. And both of them, the outer and inner, elimination of the unwanted thing should become such a hobby or a habit. First a hobby, then practice is a hobby, then it becomes a habit. Once is a habit, there is no time of the day, wherever we are, either we are finishing our works to be done or we are doing the things for our own sustenance. Apart from these two, automatically, naturally, our mind is preparing to meditate through whatever the study of Shastra or Upasana Adi, and once prepared, it is entering to meditation. This is what a serious, sincere spiritual seeker is expected to do and must to do. Then only, as we said in the beginning, that meditational points, meditational desires, then meditational attempts will regularly, consistently happen, in which alone the experience also is gained. Otherwise, if the distractions are not stopped, the mind is so unruly, it just goes only into those directions. Never you may listen all Upanishads 100 times. Not even one mantra will be remembered, nor even one mantra's meaning is remembered, nor will understand how the meaning of that mantra can be should be employed for meditation to reject the anatma and identify with the atma. All those clarities only will not come. What to talk about attempt? Not only that, throughout our every attempt of meditation is only struggling to quieten the mind. हजारों जन्म मन को शांत करने के लिए जाते हैं, नहीं होगा मन शांत. Why? We have not come to a clear conclusion that those only the thoughts I'll entertain which are related to my goal. All other things are not only not required, they are detrimental to me. This conviction has not come. Then, to all the thoughts, to all those projects, we have a very sublime, subtler, soft corner. Therefore, we only as if try to reject them and we only again invite them. Unless that ruthlessness comes, unless that firm conviction comes, no means no. Not required means not required. Their obstructions means it's convinced. In this way, when we don't become very strong and ruthless in our conviction, then our attempt to devalue them will never be successful. And unless that is done for a long time, we are in the same world, but not allowing the unwanted things to enter that beautiful state of mind or life we can't achieve. Without that, such person can never be successful in his professional goals, nor in his goal of serving the world, nor in his devotional sadhanas, nor in any of the Vedantic Adhyatmic sadhana. Now we understand why we are not proceeding ahead, progressing ahead. These are the things. We have to mind them, monitor them. There is a price to be paid. And mind you, what are we going to lose at the most? We are going to lose only the reality given to the imaginary world, the value given to the dualistic, pluralistic world, and the struggle which we were going through to get the anatma for the sake of ananda, sukha. These are the things which we lose, and it is for the bargain only, no? When these troublesome things are going away, and in the meditation, when we are comprehending the all pervading Atma, which is Ananda Swarupa, this business is very good. This deal is very wonderful, is it not? We should tell this also to us again and again. नहीं तो क्या कहेगा मन, अरे यार तू इंद्रिय सुखों को मिस कर रहा है, निद्रा को मिस कर रहे हो, सी लोग कितना मजा मौजा कर रहे हैं, यू आर मिसिंग. दिस इज हाउ द लोअर माइंड, if it is not controlled with a convinced higher mind, will pull me the sadhaka towards that. And all this struggle inside put together is adhyatmic sadhana. Just not doing japa is sadhana, not only studying some book, they are all only givers of the data. जब करो तो मन थोड़ा शांत होना चाहिए. Then the study or listening gives a data. But after that, the work which we have to do is all these, which needs time, which needs effort, which needs patience, which needs faith. Let us have all of them. And all these words, so many times we listen. सुन सुन के इतने बोर हो जाते हैं कि उन शब्दों का अर्थ क्या है, मीनिंग, उसका अनुभव क्या, एक्सपीरियंस, उसको हम फोकस ही नहीं करते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल श्रद्धा. How many hundreds of times we heard about it, but if I ask you, imagine or feel about the meaning of Shraddha in your heart, and then question, do you have Shraddha? And if it is yes, towards what you have? It's very funny. Answer is always no, I didn't understand, I didn't feel it. Even if say मेरे को श्रद्धा है, honestly if you देखो ना, more than God, Guru, Shastra, Sadhana, Adhyatmikata, our Shraddha is more only Indriya and Deha, the Vishya Vastus and Bhoga through them. तो फिर क्या किया इतने बार ये शब्द को सुन सुनकर? Is it not? We said concentration is very essential. Did we mean what is the meaning of concentration? Did we enjoy that? Did we try for it? Did we attempt it? We talk about the buddhi sukshmata. What is the meaning of sukshma buddhi? Did we understand it? Did we try for it? Are we able to maintain the subtlety of the buddhi by not allowing the rajas tamas to overpower, along with avoiding those things which cause rajas and tamas? हमेशा सूक्ष्मता में बुद्धि, एकाग्रता में मन, श्रद्धा में हमारा चित्त, शरणागति में हमारा अहंकार. Unless these are maintained regularly, our information which we gain from the satsangas will not become the inspiration. That inspiration will not give the consistent fuel, and that inspiration called as fuel alone will push us into the path, into doing the things, the sadhanas, wherever, whatever have to be done. So all these understanding is part of Adhyatmika Pragati. We must have them. In fact, like what you need for a house, every month on day 1, today is May 1st, you list them out and keep buying one by one. Special occasions when they are there, any pujas, ceremonies, विवाह, एक बड़ा चेकलिस्ट बनाते हो, फिर एक एक चीज we procure. So in spirituality, the checklist is already given by the Guru. So we need not even struggle for that. What we have to do is only procure them. They already gave the checklist. Papa, Vivek, Pailik, Liao, then Vairagya, you get it. Then Shama, the Dhamma, then Uparama, the Diksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, Mumukshuttam. These are all the checklists. Then Guru Upasadanam, then Guru Bhakti, then Guru Seva, Guru Saranagati. Thereafter, the Shravanam, then the Mananam, then the Dhyasanam. So this checklist we have to ensure, are we in fact procuring it or not? Ab dekho, after all those many years of our being in God or Guru spirituality, achievement ki dur ki baat. Achieving is far out distance. Even our attempts toward the first two steps themselves are not so serious. Called as Vivek and Vairag. Honestly, dekho, we have not done Vivek also sufficiently. Therefore, that beautiful Vairagya, which in a later case helps us in spiritual sadhana, but before that gives such a freedom and peace of the mind that itself we have not gained. Vivek ke dwara, when we reject the unwanted things from our life, the peace and happiness which we gain because of that vairagya is so much valuable. The freedom to choose what is to be done or involving in that without any distraction, because there is no raga dvesha in me, because through viveka I gained that. Ye anand bhi ayana ko. Then talk about shamadamadi, you to just dream only. Slaves of the indriyas, slaves of the mana. देखो चेकलिस्ट को हम कहाँ पहले तैयार रखा. Our life is like one. Money is given, checklist is given for buying things. And this fellow servant goes to the market, comes back and says, महाराज चेकलिस्ट भूल गया और पैसे सारे मैंने बेकार में खर्च कर दी. Same way we are doing. The paisa is our entire lifespan. Checklist is these 9 things. Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhamadi and Shraddha, Mumukshuttam 9, then Shravanamani Dhyasana, Bara. Then the entire life is the money that is given. Checklist is lost because we are not remembering it every day. And the money is spent because every moment of the life is oozing away. Without our permission, without asking us. Din बीती जा रहे 20-22 just now it came. But Jan over, Feb over, March over, April over, now 1st May started. देखते देखते होता जाएगा, and with every moment passing, we only are nearing to our own death. Therefore, in today's introduction, because we are coming to the conclusion of such a sublime Upanishad, we don't know when do we study such great things. To make maximum benefit and use out of it, what are the conscious understandings and preparations we have to make? We felt the need of reminding ourselves of it. That's how some time is spent for us. Protect oneself from the outer and inner by knowing the needs and limitations, and thus always seek to have the meditational poise, and with that enter into meditation. जैसे आज के दिन भूख लगती है तो तुरंत जाकर फ्रिज में खा लेते हैं. इज इट नॉट ऑनलाइन में ऑर्डर करके खा लेते हैं, या घर के लोगों को बताते हैं मेक इट एंड ग्रेट इट. सेम वे द मोमेंट यू फाइंड द माइंड इज calm and quiet, sit somewhere and spend those 10 minutes in dhyana. Anytime it can come, keep on encashing it. That is the initial stage. Later on, you only are creating all those movements and doing. Even much higher is what? So much professional. Morning 5 to 6:30, I have to do my dhyana. Afternoon after the class, 11, 12 to 1:30 to 2 or 1, whatever time. Evening half an hour, 5 to 1. I have fixed with full zeal and zest. All our focus is only to reach to that time and do that effectively. This is how the people become sadhakas. Sadhakas do sadhana. Sadhana gives siddhi. हम सबको भी यही करना है. कहते हुए now in the ALAATHA Shanti Prakaranam of Mandukya Upanishad with Karika, we have seen the final touches, the 97th mantra. This is very, very direct, simple, unambiguous, but including, as I said yesterday, hinting us the consequences of misunderstanding at the Vyavahara level, at the Mana level, at the Adhyatmika Sadhana level. what is said, it's in a flow, a simple श्लोका. जैसे बच्चों को कहते हैं ना, अगर ठीक तरह तुम डिसिप्लिन के साथ पढ़ाई न करोगे ना, यू विल नॉट पास इन योर एग्जाम्स, ना तुमको नौकरी मिलेगी. We tell them, you don't work hard and study, you don't be pass and you will not get the job. So too, अणुमात्रेऽपि वैधर्म्ये जायमाने अविपश्चितः असंगता सदा नास्ति किम उत आवरणच्युतिः. देखो, avipashchitaha means if you are not studying Shastra and continuously remembering the theme, he is called as Vipashchit. He is called Medhavi. Vipashchit. Gita mein, in Upanishad, this word comes Vipashchit. Kaschit dhira pratyagatmanamait avruta chakshu amratatvamichan ityadi. That Vipashchit is Medhavi aviparlupta chaitanya. Means always who is remembering a goal and means. If that is not there, what do? Goal is to establish the one without second self. If that is forgotten, obviously, the earlier habits only come into picture. What is the earlier habit? Vaidharmya. What is Vaidharmata? Remember, the thought about the presence of something other than the self in the outer grosser world in the form of the sun, moon, star, the object, the things and beings. So too, the presence of something other than self inside also in the form of some vrittis, either of the again things or the beings or projects or emotions. That thought is called as Vaidharmya. That is born out of Avipashchita. Anumatrevi. Even a little bit also this. The Vaidharma, the Vidharma means Dharma is Atma. Vidharma means something other than the Atma. Anumatrevi means even a trace, even an iota, even a little bit. Jayamane. If you are non-alert because of Avipashchita, you are allowing that to pop up or crop up. What's that? Vaidharmya. What it leads to? Turant Sangha. Therefore, to such person, Asanga is not possible. It's a very big shloka. It has to be talked or discussed in 10, 12 angles. So much is there. Feel for the literal meaning of shloka. Then with that help of the literal meaning, go into deep analysis. Then we will come to know what caution our Paramaguru is telling. What hint he is giving. What help he is giving to us in this shloka. You can feel it. Here he is telling about, he is cautioning, he is requesting, he is ordering, he is insisting. क्या है कि both from the laksha that I have to discover one without second self, as well as even your vyavahara while doing the sadhana or living world, take the Dvaita Jagat as only the vyavaharik and mithya, even little also, don't give value importance to the Vaidharma, the thing, something which is other than the self. If you do that, immediately the power of Maya comes so immediately effectively that that thing will be there always in your mind as a thought, and you are always caught up by that thought by becoming a corresponding knower of the thought called as Jiva. मतलब अनात्मा के रूप में इदम वृत्ति थोड़ा भी पैदा हो गया तो उस इदम के करस्पॉन्डिंग वाला अहम रूपी जीव का भी उत्पत्ति होएगा. उसके बाद अहम इदम संसारी चलता रहेगा. फिर अहम इदम के परे जो परमात्मा है उनका अनुभव नहीं आएगा. That not having the anubhava Paramatma, here technically called as avarana. That avarana chuti will never happen. And why the avarana is not happening? Because the ahamidam vritti. This ahamidam vritti is called as sangam. Asangata sadanasti. This sangam means chipka of these two. The aham is attached to the idam and idam is helping the ahama. In दोनों के बीच में संग हो गया. If the sangha itself is not broken, how can the avarana is removed? That is what he is saying. Means what? Because you are caught up in ahamidam, the purna aham conscious self, which is so subtle, which is substratum of these two, on which these two are projected. You can't even go near to that. उसका याद ही नहीं होगा. Simple, as we said in the introduction, when I am conscious of I, the Jiva Bhava, and the conscious of the thoughts in my mind of whatever sort, I am so much in that Rajoguna that the self itself also is forgotten, that there is something self which is supporting these two. अरे thought ही भूल गए, अविपश्चित हो गए, then how one can go deep into discover the conscious self, a step before which is the avarana bhanga. अणुमात्रे भी वैधर्मे जायमाने अविपश्चितः असंगता सदा नास्ति किमुत आवरणच्युति of this Mandukya Upanishad shloka is absolutely in sequence and resonance and equivalence with what is said in 2 days back by Bhagavan Krishna to Uddhava toward the end of the chapter 22 of Bhagavad Mahapuran. What did he say? कि when we are in the world, when the Dushta Durgmarga Vyaktis, when they trouble you or scorcher you or so many ways they do, you should not react. Then only the samsara and jiva bhava goes away. You can discover the self. That was the context it was spoken to us. What was the whole discussion? The discussion about the mana, the vritti, the maya, how they occupy us. One of the most powerful way of the maya to bind us to the mind is by putting in front of us various experiences of humiliations, insults through somebody or the other. The moment you react to that, you have become prey to it. So what is said there in that little looking non-positive form, here said by Upanishad Kara in positive way. उनमें क्या हो रहा है? Whenever we are reacting to the people, we are valuing the duality. We are also valuing our emotions, which are entertaining those dualities. So tasmad uddhava mahabhungshva vishayan asadindriyaihi atma agrahana nirbhatam pasya vaikalpikam brahma. What is the direct thought said? Those indriya those indriya vastus. Don't involve in indriya vastu with indriya, because they are actually born out of the non-recognition of the self. In the self, they are not there. When you don't know the self, they are projected. When you are involving in them, you will live only the life at that level. Never the ignorance of the self will go away. Never the experience of the self comes. Therefore, don't involve in the asad vastus with the asad indriya. That's what said. As an extension of that, kshiptaha, amanitaha, sadbi, pralabdhaha, suyatha, whatever it may be, shreyas kamaha, atmana atmanam uddharet. That's what Bhagavan Krishna said. Same thing Karika Kara here is saying in another word कि वैधर्म्य को अब थोड़ा सा भी जन्म नहीं आने देना. Then what to do? It's only vyavahara, it's only mithya, it's only vyavahara, it's only mithya. It is not real, it's not real. Only this much. Beyond that, I'll not involve. Beyond that, I'll not think about it. In this type of rejections, other than whatever minimum required for vyavahara, no other vaidharmya is allowed. Like I am talking to you. So in the class, you are listener, I am speaker. So this vyavaharika vaidharmya. But paramarthikata say, which thought I should give importance, value, to avoid my thought in my mind, whether as a liking or disliking, I must know in your form also same Paramatatva is there. And the thought you are there as a listener is only vyavaharik, is only mithya. In reality, they are not there. I myself am not real as a speaker. How can you as a listener real? But it's a vyavahara transaction required because some commitment, some study, some sadhana. इतना ही है, इसके ज़्यादा और कुछ नहीं है. In the same way, everywhere, wherever we are in देश काल वस्तु, जितना जरूरत उतने रह जाना, उतना करना, तुरंत coming back into the mind to this thought that I am not involving in this because unreal, it's mithya. The ekameva advaita is real. Now I am not experiencing it. I have to reach to that goal. That will come only on the meditation. To make the mind meditation worthy, I am very careful. इस तरह से हमको करना है. If that is not done, even for a so-called Advaita Vedantin as well as all the Dvaitins, Asangata Sada Nasti means what? The Asangata Nasti, what is meaning of it is, you will never be able to stop the influence of The idam vritti is on your mind. That means you can't quieten your mind. When the duality is devalued, then only the mind can be quieted. Duality means anything other than self. When it is devalued, तभी मन क्वाइट होगा. नहीं है तो डिस्टर्बेंस होता ही रहता है. That disturbance called here as संगम. तो संग ही रहता रहेगा, असंग होएगा ही नहीं. What is the meaning of asangata nasti kimuta avarana chuti? Means when the sangha attachment or influence of the idamurti has not gone, then how can your deep meditation take you to your own experience of self, in whose light the avarana goes away? It's like even little of you see the snake as real. Duality ho gaya na? Then you will have such a fear, worry about the snake only, that you can never be freed from the thought of snake. Asanga nahi hai. Now, kimuta avarana chuti, then how can the ignorance of the rope will go leading to the knowledge of the snake, knowledge of the rope? Is it not? Anumatra bhi vaidharme. And you look it from the standpoint of realization of the rope as rope. Once the rope is known, snake along with its thought, anumatra bhi nahi rahega. You know, that snake thought, which was frightening us for such a long time, a few hours, तुरंत चला जाता है. That means what? Therefore, to recognize the rope as rope, the Vaidharmya called the snake should not be given value anumatra. Now, one or two things I have to share, which we spoke to you 1 or 2, 3 months back. See, when such examples are given, they are given by the person who is in the state of realization. And we are in the state of bondage. He is showing us what it looks like from the state of his realized position. What we have to do, who are at the state of bondage, we have to follow what they say so that we reach to them. What is the meaning of it? In the example snake rope, I am seeing snake, not the rope. I am seeing the Jagat, not Paramatma. They are seeing the rope but not the snake. They are seeing the Paramatma, not the Jagat. Pehle position samjho. Then for us, the rope snake is real, fears are real. Snake is real, fears are real. The rope is doubtful to us. Now what to do at this level? Is it not wise to have the faith in the words of that person who says, Beta, real is a snake, rope only, there is no snake at all. And you see his love and compassion, the one who is so much in the experience of rope as rope, still comes down to our level of accepting as if the presence of snake. Then he talks to us in the language of the snake. Dekho, ye hil raha hai kya? Is it hissing? Is it moving? Is it slimy or is it rough? He is asking us all these questions for us to inquire, not for him, because he is seen there is no snake at all. So do the gurus who are establishing Atma Anubhava. For our sake, the world which is non-existent for them, for our sake they talk in the language of the world which we see and tell us, inquire it. Was it there in the past? Is it going to be there in the future? No, then in between it's only an appearance. उनके वर्ड्स को हमको बिलीव करना है, faith. What is Vedanta is what? First accept what is said by the Shastra, that Brahma alone is real. Then the experience, for experience the sadhana, for the sadhana conviction. Is it not? Experience, to experience it the sadhana, for doing sadhana conviction. These three are achieved with the help of the Guru, with the help of Shastra, with our own lots of effort and conviction. पहले तो मानना है उसको, बट मानने से बात बनता नहीं, अनुभव से बात बनता है. अनुभव साधना से होता है, साधना कन्विक्शन से होता है. We have to do the conviction and sadhana and anubhava. For that only all the lectures and all. Self is there. We all have clearly understood and faith है कि सब जगत के पीछे एक परमात्मा है. Then why and then how? That one. Then where from this manyness is coming? That one. Then how to eliminate this manyness? Then how to establish oneness? These are the ones which we have to become thorough in intellectually. उसी के लिए टाइम ज़्यादा लगता है. Then work it out on the seat of contemplation and meditation. And this other occupation other than this, only this one, keep on doing, keep on doing, keep on doing. Then the first disturbed, agitated mind goes away. Then calm and quiet mind comes. Then the thing which you are contemplating on that, the meaning you start understanding. That understanding start become deeper and deeper. The deeper understanding tells us, ye to such hai, the conviction. Then conviction pushes us into that experience in that very rare moment. And it's so tasty, wonderful that we seek it again and again. Though in the beginning it's not easily given. One experience इस जन्म में है तो 10 जन्म के बाद फिर से होगा, ये सब भी होगा, depending on our other prarabdha. But when I seek that, that's how the Lord gives glimpses. When you are so much tuned with Shraddha, then in this very life जितना हो सके करो, और किसी किसी को उसमें पूरा पकड़ भी मिल सकता है, there is no doubt. वो भी हो सकता है कि establish. So what Bhagavan Karikakara said and what its literal meaning. So what we are feeling about it. Anumatrepi vaidharme jayamane avipashchitaha asangata sadanasti kimuta avarana chutihi. What to talk about the avarana chuti? That even asangata you cannot achieve when there is a vaidharmya which is given birth to. Jayamane means when you give birth to that, means when you allow it to happen, or when it has happened, you give an importance to it. जन्म देना ही नहीं, अगर जन्म हो रहा है तो अबॉर्ट कर देना उसको, वैधर्म्य को. What is the vaidharma in a layman's language? The acceptance of anything other than Paramatma as a reality. That vaidharmya, that उसको हमें उड़ने उगने नहीं देना. Don't allow it to be born, don't allow it to be grown. Either do it on the strength of inspiration towards the goal, or do it on the strength of your conviction of the study of Shastra, or do it on the strength of faith. What's the faith? कि शास्त्र ने कहा only एकमेव अद्वयम ब्रह्म is सत्य, other than it everything is सब कुछ मिथ्या है. This is called faith. Then the inquiry which we did in the Alaatha Shanti Prakarana, that is conviction gained study with the study. And the third way is one, I want to experience the one without second self. Then how can I allow this, the duality to crop up or born in me? Use any of these three weapons, whichever works the time, but see to it that it is minimized, reduced, zero-fied. And to minimize, reduce, zero-five, the idam vritti or the anatma or vaidharmya on the seat of meditation, a strong conviction about it in the general intellect is what? The entire world which I am saying is mithya, unreal. It is of no use other than pulling me to the level of jiva, binding me to the world. This has to be so pakka. You know, when you have a person like him, you are so pakka, इसके साथ रहने से नुकसान होएगा मुझे. So too when you have a friend, you have such a pakka feeling with him कि he will not harm me, he will help me only. Don't you have that much? You know, some items, ये खाऊंगा तो इतना मजा आएगा. Other things चीजें नहीं चाहिए because I don't like it. There are some pakka ideas in us regarding some things. So too, when you have to reach to that avarana bhanga atma anubhava sthiti, about the entire vaidharmya, we have to be so pakka, even though I am perceiving today, even though I am not able to leave this world, even though world is pulling me today on the name of obligation duty, yet heart in heart I am pakka, this is neither real nor is going to give of any benefit. This is a cause of bondage. Not with vengeance, not with jugupsa, not with hatred. No. Then that is samsara. It's all an inner clear understanding that to know the Ekameva Advaita Atma, the Dvaita Jagat is Bandhana. Therefore, this Dvaita Jagat is understood through Shastra that it is Bandhana and is unreal. Therefore, I don't have value. Like when you go to a shop, when you know that that thing is not useful to you, you don't hate it. You just leave it and move ahead. Is it not? मेरे को नहीं चाहिए तो छोड़ के हेट थोड़ी करोगे वो. So too we not hate the world, but move ahead, saying that it is not real, it's going to bind me. This thought will keep on entertaining, which is very essential for the mind to become quiet, and then only through inquiry we can do the avarana bhanga and reach the self. If not, vaidharmya का आप कितना भी आप importance दो, And the two very important, powerful tools because of which the Vaidharma becomes real, born and real, is the Raga and Dvesha. They are the two inner traits. That Raga and Dvesha is a inner tendency nature. Like some people by birth have a tendency of keeping smiling. Some have the tendency of a frowning face. Some have tendency of absolute lazy. Somebody have very dynamic tendency. Somebody always lonely. Somebody सबको दोस्त बनाता है. Is it not? Somebody a tendency of almost greed. और चाहिए और चाहिए. Some people by nature are contented. Are you understanding how the people are there? In the same way, in general, all jivas' tendencies, whatever they see in the world, either they'll have raga or they'll have dvesha, even a little bit of it. These raga dvesha are allowing the Vaidharmya to be born and grow. Therefore, the Vairagya sthiti where raga dvesha both are rejected, that firmly we have to establish. That Vairagya is a thing which is proved in the form of non-valuing the Vaidharmya. And what is it expressed like? You are in the same world, but no raga or no dvesha. Like in the class, no raga, no dvesha, but we are learning it. The jnanam is gained, but neither attached nor averse to it. That means what? Being in this world, doing what is to be done, getting what is required, yet without raga dvesha, we can live. Accept it and try. So raga dvesha rahitya leading to the absence of vaidharmya, leading to the asanga, leading to vicharana contemplation, in which self-revealed avarna goes. Avarna च्युति होती है, परमात्मा दिख जाते हैं. That is the power of this shloka. Anumatre pi vaidharme jayamane vashitah. So even, as I said yesterday towards the end, if you remember, even the vidharmata with your so-called Bhagavan, whom he did so much of upasana, who in fact filled pleased with your upasana, appeared also, which is so rare in Kali Yuga. You touched his feet, he touched your head, you asked him the boons, he said tatastu, you asked for some material thing, he just manifested and gave. ये सब कितना जो रेर आध्यात्मिक साधनाएं हैं भक्ति मार्ग के, which is rare. देखो, is it easy for the Lord to appear? How much devotional, faithful we have to be? How many janmas of life sadhana we have to do that the Bhagavan has come to give us darshanam, sparshanam, anugraham. Point is, even if that also happens, that Ishvara, that boon which he gave, that I who is his devotee, इसमें भी वैधर्म्य है कि नहीं? Yeah, this also is Sangha. Yeah, with this also, the Avarana Chuti will not come, wherein the Lord, self behind that Ishvara whom I worshipped, self behind me, the worshipper, is one. ये वाला अनुभव नहीं आएगा वहाँ. If we are talking about that thing, what to talk about all the other siddhis which we gain, in which Dvaita alone is there, and what to talk about all the successes of in the world, which is also Dvaita, and worst of worst is what? Living in the world with Dvaita, with all the Dvesha, Kama, Krodha. कहाँ फंसे हम? देखो, अनन्य भक्ति से भगवान का भक्ति करना भी द्वैत को करता है, wherein the Advaita Anubhava is not gained. What to talk about this life of sin where we are living, which will lead only to the नरक इत्यादि प्रारब्ध. मतलब यहाँ से हमको काटते आना है. Stop all the papa, stop all the kamya karma, even stop all the upasana, then only you can meditate. But only by doing duty you can stop kamya karma. Only by doing lot of time upasana and ekagrata and Bhagavad Krupa, भगवान की कृपा लेकर के उनके उपासना रोकना, छोड़ना है. Oh Lord, I want to merge in you by being one with you, the self. Can I stop upasana? Welcome. The moment it is done, there is no more he the worshipped, I the worshipper. We both have discovered oneness. Final stage. वहां तक ले जाओ, but even that becomes a sangha wherein avarna chuti nahi. Seko Ramakrishna Paramahansa example, the example of all the Gopikas, the example of Devaki and Vasudeva. Dekho, they're always with Bhagavan Krishna, and not that they didn't know him. They know he is Bhagavan, they have so much of love and devotion also. But the problem is what? With all their understanding that he is God, with all their feeling that is a God or is a son and all, that Dvaita was still there. Therefore, they were always in the avarana. Therefore, वहाँ वसुदेव जी को नारद जी को पाठ बनाना पड़ा. To all the Gopika, the Uddhav ji had to taught. Later on, Krishna himself taught. They all loved Lord. They know He is Lord. They devoted. But फिर भी आवरण है. Remember that point. What's avarana? That still which is hiding that one without second self. In the discovery of which alone all struggles end, all pursuits end, all bondages end, all limitations end, all miseries end. And then the infinite continuous blissful experience is gained. That won't happen. देखो आवरण भगवान राम was in a type of विचित्र आवरण in the beginning. भंग कर दिया हमारे वशिष्ठ जी ने through that yoga vasishtam jnanam. Okay. So we are talking the very highest level, but there we have to reach from the beginning level onwards. What is the meaning of highest level? Highest level is what is said by Karika Kara, Anumatrepi Vaidar. Even a little of belief for the Vidharma you have, even allow it to be born. Like even little chance you give, the corona enters. Once it enters, which part it goes and how it sustains and develops. वो बंदा ऐसे ना नाक में बैठ जाता है और नाक में नो apparatus can go to do the surgery or treatment in the naak. In the naak also there are some places where nothing goes and that वो bacteria जाकर बैठ जाती है वो virus. Then it will grow there and you have no medicine. Such parts are so sensitive. Any heavy medicine also if you give, पूरा मर ही जाएगा बंदा. In the same way, Anumatra Vaidharmya you give importance. And even a little also don't give. Then you'll have Sangha. I am telling this shloka's meaning in so many ways so you feel it. And what is the final feeling? In my outer Vyavahara, my inner own mind, so much of Vaidharmya of million types are there. Then how can I have the detachment from them? Asangata. And without the Asangata, how can I contemplate to know the self which removes the avarna? That feeling I must have. Therefore, with some Viveka and Vairaga, give up some things. With the bhavana of all are my own expression, give up detachment something. With being neutral, give up some things. Then seeing Paramatma in everyone, leave something. In this way or the other, whatever the arrow works, use that work to devalue anything other than self. That is called as Vaidharmya ko jayamane hone nahi dena. No, at the very finermost state, which only on the state of meditation we can do, Vyavaharvetu Niyuta. The moment any thought comes, immediately knowing, Baba, it is a thought about the Anatma and it is leading to the birth of the Ahamruti also. Ahamidam is samsara. Therefore, I drop the Idama, I drop the Ahama. My goal is to know the self which is beyond Idam and Aham. ये वाला maintain करते जाना. That is the meaning of not allowing the Vidharma, the Idam Vrutti, Chaimane. If you allow it, then you can't wait. You can't. What happens? तुरंत संग होता है. What is meaning of संग? This aham fellow goes along with the idam wherever that fellow takes. Like on the state of meditation, the idam vritti of coffee came. Immediately, if you don't reject that by saying there's a coffee vritti hai, corresponding the coffee vritti, nowhere aham vritti is born. Both of them will not allow me to discover the self which is beyond these two ahamidam vritti. If you don't entertain that, what will the coffee vritti will do? It will create a sangha. What is the sangha there? You, the one who has got the coffee thought, will go along with the coffee thought into the kitchen, into the dabba, onto the stove, and also the path. देखते देखते काफी बन जाता है मन में. And not one way. Either you go and make a coffee or you become a coffee stall owner and you sell it, or you may be the owner of the coffee bagicha. करोड़ों हो सकते हैं उसके बाद. There's no endless. Thereafter, do you think that coffee thought will help you stop you there? Then the variety of which coffee, which is good quality, which is a cost, and on which online I have to bring it. अब देखो फिर किस डब्बे में रखना है, उसको पानी लगने कैसे नहीं देना है. How much of Sangha one after the other? Then few days I'm having too much coffee only. Let us stop it. Let me change it to a tea for some time. हमें को सडनली टी रुकता है क्या आपका? कौन सा चाय पी लूँ फिर? 3 रोज कर लूँ, ब्रूक बॉन्ड कर लूँ, कौन सा? देन उसमें चाय का मसाला डालूँ या विथ द क्रीम और विदाउट क्रीम? हाउ मच क्वांट? Do you understand how we the run with the mana? And then it is so hot as summer. How can you have tea or coffee? This is the time for cool soft drinks. Should we have the aerated soft drinks or should we make the juices? And in the juices also, the company made with chemical additions, or should we make at home? This is how, by giving value to the Anumatra Vaidharmya, the Sangha, and 1 hour you sat for meditation. But in that 1 microsecond also, we did not meditate on the self. 1 घंटा बैठे, 1 सेकंड भी ध्यान नहीं किया. Same thing in the class also. 1 hour you sat, but not 1 minute you heard, because the mind with Vaidharmya means some thought other than the class ran only. Sangha. Some people it happens. घंटी बजने के बाद वो लोग जागते हैं. In the time not sleeping, there are always some other thought. Some of you, children have to go there, husband has to go there, or in-laws, outlaws, उनको ये बनाना है, वो बनाना है. So that is all Vaidharmya. Immediately Sangha, then you are not in the class. Example. There is a goal. I have to devalue the Jagat other than Paramatma to such a final extent that the Anumatra Vritti also of it is not coming. That is the highest goal. तब जाकर के meditation में we will be able to transcend, cross all the distances and discover the self. Clear? ये literal meaning हो गया. And this is what भाषा is very simple. इतः अन्येषां वादिनां means other than the Advaitavadin, the Dvaitavadiयों के जीवन में अणुमात्रे means अल्पेपि वैधर्म्ये वस्तुनि, वस्तु means other than the self, बहिः अंतर्वा जायमाने, inside or outside? Outside is perceived through senses. Inside is thoughts. Like on sit of meditation, you sit, suddenly a sound came. Sound did not came from inside, but came from outside. It's called as बाह्य वस्तु. और किसी घर के किचन से को स्मेल आया, immediately that is outer वस्तु. और हवा का झरोका लगा, is it not? On the seat of meditation, Rupa outer, Rasa outer won't enter because eye is closed. Rupa you won't see. Movie बंद है, इसलिए रस का नहीं, unless you put a pan in the mouth while meditating. If that is not, but the other three, the Shabda, the Gandha and Sparsha, you can't easily avoid them. But a highly yogic meditation sthiti mein, a bomb blast is happening around, still you are deaf to that. That's called the highest meditation or concentration. That's to be achieved. Like the example Bhagavad Purana, our Dattatreya ji कहते हैं ना एक गुरु, that Ishukara, he was making his arrow. King with all his pulton, with all sound was moving. He did not get distracted even to look at the king. Not that he was disrespectful to the king. He has mastered himself in the concentration so much that he was engrossed in his work. These are the outer things. Bahihi, I am explaining the Bhashya. What the Bhashyakara said? Vaidharmye vastuni jayamane kidar bahihi. Antaha, second one is what? Antarva, inside in the mind. Now, so much of samskara, vikara, vasana we have, so many thoughts. Outside का तो मैंने कहा 3 आएंगे, 2 नहीं. अंदर तो 5 आ जाएंगे, उसमें varieties में आ जाएंगे. Because we are not trained ourselves with Vivek Vairagya, We have not removed our vasanas. We have not stopped the habit of giving value to objects through the senses. All of that makes on the seat of meditation our mind to create so much of vaidharmya at the inner level, in the mind level. Wow. So that's why japa is a sadhana which helps in avoiding all the vaidharmya utpatti inside. Antaha. Japa oriented mind can reduce the unwanted thought. Then what? The mantras of the Upanishad, Nanta, Pragnam, Pragnam, you're only contemplating on that. The meaning of that, the feeling of that, the experience of that. As you do it day by day, the subtlety comes. You can see the proximity in the understanding about the self. You know, you start feeling. मैं समझ रहा हूँ क्या है self. Then that when you continue more, you start a glimpses of it, as I said, for a microsecond. One doing it, पक्का पता चलता है ये है आत्मा अनुभव. And it's so sublime and subtle. उस अनुभव में सारा दुनिया गायब हो जाती. This is what he says. Utpadyamane avipashchitaha means avivekinaha. Even a little of the vidharma, if we allowed to be born, such an aviveki, who is called avipashchita, asangata. Means what? Vipashchit is viveki, avipashchit means aviveki means what? If you are not alert to do discrimination, then the vidharma is born. Therefore, be alert and use viveka, that your goal is Paramatma, which is the second. Your goal is not Dvaita. Therefore, the Dvaita Vritti, when it comes, it will be rejected. This is called as Vipaschit, is equal to Viveka. मतलब हमेशा चौकन्ना रखो विवेक वाला. Like the tongue. The most Viveka Yukta discriminating aspect of the body is the tongue. Is it not? Especially at the time of eating. 100 things go in the mouth, but the tongue continuously does the Viveka of what is to be allowed inside, what is not to be allowed. You know, that's why if you're a little conscious while चबाओ, if कोई वहाँ कोई स्टैपलर पिन आया मानो, या कोई मैच की काड़ी आई या प्लास्टिक चीज आया, तुरंत कह देता है माउथ मन को कि समथिंग अनहेल्दी इज कमिंग. Immediately you take it out and throw it. Tongue is doing viveka so much of the food every moment before allowing it to be gulped and sent into the stomach. So to a dhyata of the Advaita Atma should be so much with Chokannata and Viveka that even little of Jayamana or its trace of Vaidharma is getting birth, immediately that Viveka should work and stop it. This is not my goal. This is a idam thought. This is again Mithya Jagat. My focus is only on the Ekamavadvayam Brahma. This is said in Gita as Yato yato nishcharati manaha tatastha niyamya atmani vashmayet. That also shanai shanai uparamet buddhya adhrti gruhitaya. दोनों को आप साथ में पढ़ोगे, so then essence will be understood. Then with that understanding, we sit for meditation. Both way. In the Vyavahara also, when you give value to Vaidharmya, you will never discuss or listen to that topic, which is Ekameva Advayam Brahma. So too, even after all thorough knowledge and taken Advaita Brahma as goal, sitting for meditation, there also, if you give value to Vaidharmya, Sangha will not go away, Avarna Chuti will not happen. Extreme cases हम दोनों बता रहे. This extreme is what? You will be so busy in Ragadveshatmaka Jagat if you give value to the Vaidharmya. Because you're so busy. All of people are that only, na? They love something, they like something, they run towards it, they don't like it, they run away. आप पूरा उसी में फंसे. Do you think they'll be ready to listen to the Atma? So too those who heard Atma for millions of lives. But on the seat of meditation, the Vaidharmya, if it is valued, Sangha will be there, Avarana Bhanga will not be there, Anubhuti will not be there. दोनों एक्सट्रीम को समझो. मतलब till the experience is gained of the Ekavayadmaya Brahma, we have to be vipaschit with viveka, alertness, that even little of Vaidharma is not allowed. Very careful. Like some of the very experienced and sincere servants who are taken care of very well and given lot of money. They don't allow even little dust to fall in the house. The moment they look out for it and they remove it. उनके घर में किचन में नहीं धोया हुआ बर्तन होता ही नहीं. The moment tea coffees are taken, immediately she washes and keeps that servant. And unwashed cloth नहीं होते हैं, तुरंत जब का तब. Don't you see some servants or your own self जब का तब? But others are there, they allow it to get piled up and they are half-hearted in cleaning it. और आने दो धुंध दवा, और शाम को मैं करूंगी सफाई, तब तक जितना धूल मिट्टी आने दो. There are some people, they say, Sunday I will clean. But in last 2 days back, so much of dust storm came. But no, I am committed, I will clean only on Sunday. अरे बाबा आप करो ना, नहीं करेंगे हो. You understand difference between these two people? So too, if you and I allow this Dvaita to crop up, na, it will create such a Sangha that we will never be able to meditate. Therefore, जब का तब साफ करना. मोर केयरफुल क्या है, खिड़कियां बंद, कोई डस्ट आए नहीं अंदर. All this way is the only way which can be spoken, but you have to feel the meaning of it. Did it click to your feeling or not? You ask yourself. You need not tell me. If you have understood, then how it is looking like now? What are you committed therefore for? If you want to experience the Ekamevadvayam Brahma on the Dhyana Avastha, and to make that Dhyana Sadhana successful, how did you understand not giving value to the Vaidharmya, thereby not having any Sangha, thereby removing the Avarana and knowing the truth? आपको इसके बारे में क्या समझ आया, फील करो अपने आप. And one hint I'll give you: any type of attachments, aversions, expectations, dependencies, any type of them, when you keep away from them, the mind में से वो value चला जाए. But don't do only that, it's a half sadhana. Then the mind should be filled with all the spiritual related things. Otherwise फिर से मन उधर फंसेगा. Is it not? That's what we are doing last 2 years. Not giving time for anything outer, giving time only for Shastra. And if you really observe, पिछले 1-2 साल में जो regular आ रहे, so many of the things and people and importance and topic, they have gone away from our life. और जिंदगी चल रही है, साधना हो रहा है, थोड़ा थोड़ा बात भी समझ में आ रहा है, उपनिषद हम पढ़ रहे हैं, समय का सद्विनियोग हो रहा है. Earlier 10 times talking to that person, 20 times messaging, सब करते थे पहले. Every 1 hour having something to eat or drink, creating newer and newer works in an hallucination, imagination of what should be brought for home, then listing out all. अब कुछ नहीं हो रहा, अब जो जरूरत है महसूस होता है वो जाकर हम ले आते हैं, वो खत्म बात. दिस इज व्हाट द असंगता, बिकॉज वैधर्म्य इज रिड्यूस्ड. Then slowly the topic is being understood. That's called at that level avarna bhanga. Final avarna bhanga is you experience the self. There's nothing willing. The one without second self. Nothing of the mind or the senses. वो सब काम कर रहे हैं, वो लोग मल्टीप्लिसिटी को दिखा रहे हैं, but they are not creating avarna to me. See, this avarna bhanga and atmanubhuti is like when you know it is a shell, no more a silver. Let the 100% people come and tell you it is silver, silver. Do you accept it? It looks like silver. All of them are talking as silver. Yet there is no avarana. That it's a shell. So too, the world looks to us like the earlier timer with senses. Others live in the world like it is real. They tempt us prompt also. But we don't have avarana, like in the example of that silver and shell. It's a feeling कि मैं जान चुका हूँ भैया ये सिल्वर नहीं है, शेल है. अब कोई भी मेरे को इस ज्ञान से दूर नहीं कर सकते, कोई मुझे उस बहकावे में नहीं डाल सकते. What happened there? What's the meaning of avarna bhanga? Two aspects. One, it is not a silver, is a 50% answer, but it is a shell. The second, both are complementary. Second one is more important at later stage. First stage, first one is important. What is the first one? It is not a silver. This is important. But later on, it is a shell is more important, because if you say that it is not silver and if you have not said it is a shell, then instead of silver, you will say something else. You will say something else. You can say abracamar, you can say maika. कुछ भी बोलते जाएंगे अब हजारों निकलेंगे वहाँ. That way it's not enough to say it is not silver, not enough to say it's not snake. More important is it is a rope. Because once you see the rope, it won't be appearing as anything else because it's a fact. देखो सत्य का ये महिमा है, वो जानते हो ना, फिर दूसरा असत्य नहीं होता. और असत्य में एक प्रॉब्लम है कि सत्य को छुपाता है और बहुत सारे असत्यों को भी ले आता है. दैट इज वाई आवरण भंग इज नोइंग द सेल्फ एज इट इज. हो गया. देन असंगता असंगत्वम सदा न अस्ति किमुत वक्तव्यम आवरण च्युति दैट इज बंधनाशः न अस्ति थी. सो आवरण का च्युति अब होगा ही नहीं तुमको, तो बंधनाश न अस्ति. न बंध नहीं, बंधनाश क्या है? दोनों, विक्षेप राहित्यम, आवरण राहित्यम, आत्मानुभूति. The three things: Atma, Atma Avarana, and the Vikshepa of the Anatma. Vikshepa means projection. This is what we studied in first Prakarana as Tattvasya Agrahanam, Tattvasya Anadagrahanam. In the Nidra, only the Agrahanam. In Jagra Swapna, Agrahanam and Anitagrahanam. In the Turiya, only Grahanam of the Atma. There is neither Agrahanam nor the Anyatagrahanam. तो सेवा, प्रेम, धर्म, भक्ति, उपासना, all good words. On the name of these also, the Vaidharmya should not be valued. Then only Avarana Bhanga occur, that which is there will be seen. Otherwise what happens? The rule, Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. Means you do the worship of Krishna, Krishna will come, but you will miss Parabrahma. Rama will come, but you will miss Parabrahma. So Krishna, Rama are so great compared to our non-Krishna, non-Rama life. But Krishna, Rama also is avarana to the Parabrahma. You are seeing Parabrahma as Rama and Krishna, not as it is. Is it not? भगवान राम कृष्ण को नहीं जानना हमको, जिनके एक्सप्रेशन ये दोनों उनको जानना है. फिर उनमें सब आ जाते हैं. फिर राम कृष्ण शिव हनुमान जी माता रानी, all of them are in that Brahmanubhuti. Hope it's becoming clear little by little. We will see the further thing tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah Paramanushibhyo Namah Parabrahmane Namah Shruti Matre Namah Mandukamarashe Gaudavadacharya Varyad Shankaraturi Asmat Gurubhyam Tatsat Brahmarbrahmastu. Fast. ओम अजयश्वजम संक्रांतम धर्मेशु ज्ञानमेश्वते यतो न क्रमते ज्ञानवसंगन्तेन कीर्तितम् अणुमात्रेऽपि वै धर्मे जायमाने अपश्यतः असंगता सदा नास्ति किमुतावरणच्युतिः अलब्धावरणाः सर्वे धर्माः प्रकृतनिर्मलाः आदौ बुद्धाः सदा मुक्ताः बुध्यन्ते नायकाः क्रमतेनैव बुद्धस्य ज्ञानं धर्मेषु दाविनः सर्वे धर्माः सदा ज्ञानं नैतद्बुद्धेन भाषितं दुर्दशमद्गम्भीरं साम्यं विशारदं बुद्ध्वापदम् अनानात्वं नमस्कुरु यथाबलम्. ओम अजम विजयनियोगम प्रावदे ईश्वरे योगात् अगति जगतमत्तां प्रावदेकं ह्यनेकं विविध विषय धर्मग्राहि मुक्ते क्षणानां प्रणतभय निहंतृ ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि विहंतृ प्रज्ञावैशाखवेद क्षुभित जलनिधेर्वेदनां नौन्तरस्तं भूतान्यालोक्यमज्ञानि अविरत जनग्राह घोरे समुद्रे कारुण्यातुद्धारामृतविदं अमरैर्दुर्लभं भूतैदो यस्तं पूज्या विपूज्यं परमो गुरुममं पादपातैर्नतोऽस्मि यत्प्रज्ञालोकभासा प्रतीतिमगमत्स्वान्तमोहान्धकारः मज्जोन्मज्ज च घोरे हसकृतोपजनो धन्वतित्रासने में यत्पादावासिदानां श्रुतिशमनीयप्राप्तिरग्राह्यमोगा तत्पादौ पावनीयौ भवभयविनिधौ सर्वभावैर्नमस्ये. ॐ ॐ ॐ value and respect Omkara, value and respect Mandukya, because this is the Upanishad which has elaborately explained to us the glory and the method of Omkara Upasana to reach Paramatma. ओंकार को छोड़ना नहीं जिंदगी भर. 18 times we started chanting from the beginning of Mandukya. Every day. We didn't stop even once. I'm sure we were not forgotten any day. So that will help. The Onkara. While doing so, when you say, Onkaro Parabrahma, reveal yourself to me. Onkaro Ishvara, please bless me to do sadhana, remove the avarana. Onkaro Ishta Devata, please remove the raga, dvesha and all. Keep on saying so. Oh Onkaro Atma, may I experience you. Oh Onkaro Maya and Prakriti, please no more be an obstruction to me. That's what we have to do. Yeah. Now 10 minutes let us spend in our another text. बाबा बहुत सुंदर है, बहुत बढ़िया है. और विदुर नीति.